Hello, good evening and welcome to Business Live. Coming up in this bulletin, more oil marketing firms reduce fuel prices at the pumps in the line with the Cedi's appreciation against the dollar. But we ask, how significant is the 8% per litre drop? We will be discussing that. Also in this bulletin, Bank of Ghana assures the Cedi's outlook remains favorable as it rejects arguments that the current good run is not sustainable.
The moment we are talking about reserves in excess of 10 billion.
As ending April or?
As ending April, and we even expect this number to hit, some 11 billion at the end of the second quarter. This is far in excess of what.
But how sufficient is this assurance? We shall be finding out. Plus, Ghana's economy projected to experience steady growth in 2025. Details from the latest Africa Economic Outlook report by Bridgewaters. We shall be telling you more. We have details of these and more lined up for you. Please stay on. I truly appreciate your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Let's do something at the downstream petroleum sector because more oil marketing firms are reducing their prices at the pumps in line with the Cedi's appreciation and declining crude prices. George Yafi tells us more.
The second biggest oil marketing firm in the industry, Star, is selling a litre of petrol at 12 Ghana cedis, 57 pesos. Diesel, on the other hand, is going for 13 Ghana cedis, 49 pesos. Joy Business is learning that the other big oil marketing firms could be adjusting their prices later in the day or even tomorrow morning. This is the 7th consecutive decline in prices of petroleum products at the pumps since February this year. The last pricing window, Zen, Penab, Allied, and Star Oil had the lowest prices on the market.
All right, so let's explore the significance of this 8% reduction of fuel at the pumps you are learning. Joining us via phone is the Executive Director of the Institute of Energy Security, and I'm Wisi the 7th. Pleasure, sir. You could speak to me on Business Live. And I'm wondering how significant this 8% reduction of fuel at the pumps you are learning.
Thanks for having me, Pius. And good evening to your viewers. Yes, the 8% drop in the price of petroleum products at the pump is a huge relief to consumers. It is moving price of diesel from 14 cities down to close to 13 cities, 20 pesos. And I think this is a savings of more than 50 pesos. If you are somebody who consumes, let's say, 200 liters in a day, 50 pesos on that at least may give you something, a cushion of 120 Ghana cedis. And so it's quite significant. And it's one of the biggest drops we've seen over the last 3 years in a particular window.
Indeed. Now, looking at the consistent appreciation of the Cedi and, of course, crude oil drop on the world market, isn't that enough justification for transport fares to start dropping, don't you think?
Of course, we know when price of fuel goes up, it does impact on price of goods and services negatively. And so if the price is seeing a drop, then of course it must impact on the price or cost of goods and services positively. And so to ask about price reduction for transport or transportation, that is in the right direction.
And is this something you will be pushing as a think tank, for example, to convince the driver operators to consider?
I will even go from the perspective of a Ghanaian that if we are seeing a windfall on this side, then of course it must translate in same on the side of transportation.
But now going forward, do you foresee fuel prices dropping, looking at how the Cedi is performing so far?
Of course, if the trend continues, we are going to see a drop in or a further drop in prices. The good news is that price of finished products on the world market is still showing downward, signal, which probably when it goes to combine with the forex, benefits, we're going to see more prices dropping at the pump.
And now we see the 7th Executive Director of the Institute of Energy Security. I truly appreciate your time speaking to me on Business Live. Talking about the Cedi this time round, we know the first Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Zakari Mumuni, says the recent rally of the Cedi is not due to artificial support by the central bank, but rather as a result of strong non-debt creating reserves. Now, he said the central bank has found a strategic way of meeting market demand without drawing down its foreign exchange buffers. He described Ghana's reserve performance as very impressive. Dr. Zakari Mumuni spoke on PM Express Business Edition.
See that we are even accumulating reserves, much faster than what has been anticipated, and that is why the market really thinks that, this can be sustainable. And we actually are going to ensure that this is really sustained. It's because of what, where we are now. This time is different. If you look at the reserves we have now, these are not debt-creating reserves. These are organically accumulated reserves that are very, high now. At the moment, we are talking about reserves in excess of 10 billion.
As ending April or?
As ending April, and we even expect this number to hit, some 11 billion at the end of the second quarter. This is far in excess of what is expected under the IMF program, and that is what is actually giving a lot of, confidence in the system, and then you see, the Cedi rallying. But let me also add, it's not just the reserves, factor. There are other reasons why the Cedi is having the current rally. You will recall a few weeks ago, we had the SLA with the visiting fund team.
Yes, the staff level agreement.
The staff level agreement, the SLA. So what that, really has meant to the whole world is that things are really changing in the right direction. Alongside this has been the disinflation process that has resumed. You see inflation, moving from about nearly 24% to now about 21.2%. This means that, really we are moving in the right direction. You also have the reserves, which we have already spoken about, really increasing quite a lot. You have the fiscal that is now being put on the part of consolidation. You will see that relative to the same period last year, in terms of even the borrowing, you would have seen quite a strong slowdown in the PSBR, public sector borrowing requirements. All of these put together, alongside our strong sterilization, which is also moving, really quite strongly. We have sterilized about 3 times the amount that we did last year. So that means that we are managing the Cedi liquidity, but at the same time ensuring that the forex requirements in the market are met.
Latest data from the Africa Economic Outlook report by Bridgewaters has revealed that Africa's economy is on an upward trajectory, with growth estimated to rise to 3.8% in 2025 and 4.1% in 2026. At the heart of the positive, this trend, basically, Ghana, which continues to demonstrate steady economic progress. And my colleague Winston Taki has more in this report for you.
Ghana's economy is expected to grow moderately in 2025 as the continent moves towards recovery, according to Bridgewater's Africa Economic Outlook 2025 report. The report forecasts Africa's real GDP to expand by 3.8% in 2025, up from 3.7% in 2024, supported by rebounds in its largest economies and increased investment across key sectors. While Ghana is not among the continent's top 5 fastest growing economies, its performance will remain steady in 2025, underpinned by efforts to stabilize the macroeconomic environment, reduce inflation, and restructure external debt. These reforms, together with improving investor sentiment and gradual fiscal consolidation, are expected to support moderate GDP growth in the range of 3.5% to 4%, according to local projections. This places Ghana behind East and West African peers such as Rwanda, Kenya, and Senegal, which are expected to lead the continent's economic surge. In 2025, Rwanda is expected to grow at over 6%, supported by strong growth in manufacturing, construction, agriculture, and a rebound in tourism.
Now, the Tree Crops Development Authority is intensifying stakeholder engagement within the rubber value chain to address raw material shortages and strengthen regulatory compliance. The authority, mandated by Act 1010 of 2019 and guided by Legislative Instrument 2741, says its primary goal is to support local processing industries and promote value addition. More from Natalia Kwanza.
Development Authority, established under Act 1010 of 2019 to regulate and promote Ghana's tree crop sector, has met with stakeholders in the rubber value chain in the Western region, one of Ghana's rubber producing hubs. The engagement, led by the newly appointed CEO, Dr. Andy Osei Okra, marks part of a nationwide stakeholders interaction aimed at familiarizing the new leadership with key industry actors and challenges on the ground.
To meet our stakeholders, we are new leadership. We just took over 8 weeks ago. So we are meeting our stakeholders to engage them, first of all, to know what is worrying them and how we can come in. And more importantly, also to draw their attention to the LI we are using to regulate the system. Our major work is to regulate. So LI 2471 mandates us to register and license all actors in that. So as part of the engagement, we are opening them up to the regulations. And first of all, to be able to know the people you are dealing with, you have to know your people. Who are the farmers? We have to know them. And who are the aggregators that you are working with? Who are the traders and exporters you are working with? And more importantly, who are also the producers.
He emphasized government's commitment to job creation and value addition under the Feed Ghana program and the 24-hour economy agenda, noting a growing challenge. Processors are struggling to access raw rubber.
What we have also realized after going round, we have some challenge under the rubber industry. The challenge mainly is there's a lack of access to raw materials to the processors. From 2nd May, if anybody is licensed to do business under rubber in terms of export, and you want to export, you need to engage Tree Crop Development Authority for us to sit down with you and see if we can give you the permit to export, or we can use the products in-house or locally. So that is what we needed to explain this to them. That the reason is we want to make sure that we get the raw materials for the local factories so that they don't close that, they don't fold out.
Representing the Western Region Rubber Farmers Association, Kingsley Kwesi Bentum, finance officer, expressed deep reservation, accusing the authority of acting in favor of a private interest.
When we did the demonstration, a lot of exporters, traders came in to help the system to boost farmers. Now, as we speak, a lot of farmers are relieved of those burdens of yesterday. Farmers have been able to educate their children, of which then they were not able to educate their children even to secondary school. But now we have farmers that have been able to educate their children to the highest level in master's degree, name it. All because of the traders, the exporters that came in to make the industry rich. So from what we are hearing from the TCDA, in a way, they want to, stop the exporters from exporting.
We seek that since the TCDA is a government agency which is not biased towards the processors or the farmers or the aggregators, the TCDA should ensure that before it will ban the export or make it hard for us to export the raw materials, but want us to sell to the local companies, the local companies should also make sure that our petitions are also addressed for smooth operation. Our petition is that they should make sure that they are able to accommodate all our produce or our supplies, one, and two, they shouldn't delay our payments, because most of these traders or most of us are working on loans. If they delay our payment, it is also going to affect us. Two, they should give reasonable price prices that are competitive.
This is still Business Life. We have more for you after this short break. The Ghana cedi may return to 14 cedis to $1 by the end of 2025, and that is the latest forecast from APSA Cedi report released in May this year. More in this report.
The Tree Crop Development Authority established.
The report showed that the cedi's aggressive rise was fueled by the surge in gold prices and elevated cocoa prices on the world market. It however cautioned that there will be reversal towards 14 cedis to $1 by the end of the year from the 13 cedis bandwidth. Providing more details for the cedi's good run, the report pointed out that the Bank of Ghana initiated moves to translate its strong export receipts into the country's official gross reserves. It says the Bank of Ghana has been able to supply more hard currency to the interbank market, which has driven the exchange rate sharply lower from 15 cedis 50 pesos to $1 a month ago to 13 cedis 05 pesos to $1 currently. 60 farmers in the Ejusi municipality of the Ashanti region have been equipped with environmentally friendly mushroom production skills. The workshop, spearheaded by the Crops Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, is part of the rural diversification pathways in Africa through the bio-based and circular agricultural innovations project. More in this report. We sincerely apologize for that. We shall bring you that story subsequently. Now, scientists at the Crops Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research are finalizing a project to introduce mechanization into Ghana's plantain sector. The research under the Mechanization and Work in Agroecological Transition is in response to calls by farmers to alleviate the drudgery in plantain farming and also reduce the use of herbicide that pose health and environmental risks. More in this report.
For years, consumers and traders of plantain have endured the annual cycle of plantain scarcity, which usually comes with its exorbitant costs.
You can't wear my in we were there if you say you never me. Says you chrome 1.7. Lolly fair and can sans any one identity. Will be a mammato. Any at once.
The perennial situation has been attributed to the lack of mechanized systems, including irrigation and farming implements to support an all-year-round production and eliminate drudgery in farming. Regional engineer at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture in the Ashanti region, Engineer Clara Dakom, highlights challenges associated with the absence of mechanized tools in Ghana's farming space.
They are not also able to do a lot of or a bigger acreage so that you will get a lot of them, because you know for pricing is demand and supply. So if there are a lot in the system, the prices will go down. But because we don't have machinery to do expansion, we are just doing small acreages, and then what comes out is what we buy. So it's helping the farmers not to get a lot of money with expansion and also with the quality, because if you have machines, you are not going to add chemicals. If you have machines to do the plowing, the harrowing and that stuff, we need that, because if the land preparation is good, you get a higher yield.
The Crops Research Institute hosted a 2-day national workshop to expose farmers and stakeholders in the plantain industry to some handy motorized tools for weeding and digging. The project, which commenced in 2023, afforded local farmers the opportunity to utilize tools such as the augers for digging and motorized weeders. Project coordinator Dr. Natsin Aram Amengo disclosed plans are underway to include local fabricators to develop tools after the project's completion.
Farmers appreciate the two machines. They believe that it is good for their cause, but there are issues with acquisition. Where can we get it at an affordable price? Then there are issues also with maintenance. Who will maintain it for us when it breaks down? Then we also went a step further to look out if we could more or less like get local fabricators and other people in the mechanization chain to either manufacture parts or manufacture them in whole so that they wouldn't have to buy them from outside at higher prices.
The project is being implemented in other West African countries like Benin and Ivory Coast, with opportunities for cross-border tool adoptions. Pauline Pigot is the international coordinator for the Mechanizing project.
There are a lot of ideas that get exchanged, and for example, we've seen that the way the auger was, the frame for the auger was built here, is now adopted in Benin. So that's very interesting to see this kind of dynamics, and but of course. For all the situations, there are some differences, and the farms are different. The farmer doesn't want the same thing. So, all those two.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
In more business news, Access Bank Ghana, as part of the company's resolve to instill the habit of savings, has rewarded customers under its Fakitwa Beji Kesia promo. At the first draw of the promotion, Head of Corporate Communications, Edward Nelson Ade, said the promotion is to reward customers and encourage them to save for ahead of difficult times.
The first draw of the Access Bank Fakitwa Beji Kesia promo sought to reward both current and savings account holders of the bank as well as the youth. As part of the draw, some customers won 1,500 Ghana cedis, 4,000 Ghana cedis, and 8,000 Ghana cedis, while others also won Netflix and Spotify subscriptions. In an interview, Head of Corporate Communications Edward Nelson Ade entreated individuals to cultivate the habit of savings and participate in order to stand a chance of winning.
We thought it wise to also help our customers to save more, because we believe that we want to inculcate the habit of savings to our customers. So we said that save more and then you stand a chance of winning any of this fantastic prize we have at stake. We have a cash prize at stake. We also have subscription to Amazon Prime. We have Netflix. We have Spotify. And then, as usual, the cash prizes at stake. We have 4 mini draws and 2 mega draws in this promo. To get on board is very simple. You just have to deposit a minimum of 250 Ghana cedis. That gives you an entry into the promo. By a minimum of 500 cedis gets you a chance to win any of the prizes at stake.
A representative of the National Lottery Authority, Ekwia Oseidaku, also assured customers of a fair and transparent process.
We are in collaboration with Access Bank because of their current ongoing promotional activity named Fakitwa Beji Kesia promotion. So we are here to just make sure that it's free and fair, and genuine people win from the pool that's participated in the promotional activity. It looks like they are really informed about what is taking place or going on, and that they are duly participating in it. And we are assuring them that they should continue with their participation and that everybody stand a chance to win. We have their interests as a government agency, and that will make sure that whatever is promised them per their participation is given to them.
With a minimum deposit of 250 Ghana cedis, customers can participate in the promo and stand a chance to win exciting prizes.
That's it for Business Life. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Beyond the Numbers is next.